What's up, gamers? This is NGG here with another review video. This time it is for Hogwarts Legacy for the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to review just the Nintendo Switch. I didn't play any other versions, so I don't know how it runs on anything else. So my experiences are going to be only Nintendo Switch related, and I played it from start to finish for 70 hours plus maybe a little bit of extra, and didn't 100% it, but I beat like 83% of the game, so I did a good substantial amount of this game. Now there are two versions of this game. There's the Legacy and then the deluxe version. I hear the deluxe version adds like an extra battle arena where you can get some extra skills that you get in story mode in the base version, but you can get them quicker in the deluxe version. But the version I played and the one I'm going to be talking about is the base version. So let's start off with story. So this takes place before the Harry Potter experience, before Harry Potter was even a thing. So this takes place a lot earlier. I don't remember the exact years, but definitely before Harry came to Hogwarts. And so you see Hogwarts as it was beforehand, and all the world and the magnificent beasts. And so you start off as a 5th year student, which is not normal because most people start off in their 1st year and they start off younger, but you're a 5th year starting off, and you had a teacher come train you during the summer, a Professor Fig, and that is how we start off. He's taking you to Hogwarts by carriage, and something happens and a dragon attacks you out of nowhere in the sky, and you are falling down, and you grab a port key and you are taken to this unknown destination, and the game ensues from there. So it takes you straight into like exploring, learning how to fight with your magic skills, training you up a little bit before you get to school. And I like how the story, there's so much happening in the story, right? So you have so many side quests that are, they're fetch quests for sure, but you have a lot of side quests, you have a lot of main story quests. There's never anything not to do. Like, my quest log was always filled with something to do. There was never a dull moment. There was never like, okay, what am I gonna do next, until I beat the game. Then it was like, all right, let me finish off the side quest if I can. But until I finished the game, there was always something to do, always some place to go, some things to save. And I love the fact that there's just like multiple quests on top of each other. So I could be doing one side quest, I could be doing hours of side quests before I even touch a main quest again. That's how much there is to do in this game. And the cutscenes are chef kiss beautiful. They look so good for being on the Switch. And this being said, like, I've played first party Switch games and this looks 10 times better than any first party game I've ever seen on the Switch. So enough talking about how it looks. Let's get back to story. So in the story, you are definitely transported, once you grab that port key, into a place that leads to Gringotts Bank, where you are attacked by a goblin for some reason. And not only does the goblin not care about the other goblins that are in Gringotts Vault and attacks them himself, but you go to like the school, the after you make it to Hogwarts and you go into Hogsmeade for the first time, you're attacked by a troll, and you find out that there are 2 people, a wizard working with this goblin, and you hear so many bad things about this goblin, and you don't know why you are being attacked. The only thing you can think of is it has something to do with that port key that you grabbed up in the very beginning of the game, and that's why you're being attacked and followed and by dark wizards and goblins alike. What we're gonna do now is shift to gameplay. So gameplay has like I said, a lot going for it. So with gameplay, You're learning to fly a broom. You're walking. You're using lots of magic spells. I like the fact that every time they teach you a magic spell, you have to kind of do like these puzzle things to like to move the same way the wand would go. You only have to do it once, and then every time afterwards you can get the spell going. But you definitely have to learn how to use each magical piece before being able to move on and be able to use it all the time. The only magic where you kind of have to repetitively do the puzzle for it is the Halohomora, which is one of those where I was like, this is too many lock picking things for me. Like you're always constantly for one of the missions having to pick locks, and I'm like, all right, I already know Alohomora. I don't want to spend time doing these lock puzzles to unlock these rooms and these doors and these boxes. So I think with the Alohomora they could have done a little less, or once you got to like third stage Alohomora, they could stop teaching it to you could stop doing the puzzles for all of them, because at that point you know all three stages. Or when you learn the more advanced one, the lower puzzles become automatically unlocked when you do the wand technique. That would have been nice. There's also lots of like mini games in the castle to figure out. So you have these flying keys that are around the castle that you have to fetch. You also have to what is it called? There's these like games that they play with you in the outside world. I mean, like the outside of Hogwarts, like the courtyards. So there's like this little game where you have to pull the ball a certain way so that it doesn't fall off using your fudge, I forget the name of the magic, to pull it to you. And that those like lots of fun puzzles. And now exploring the world, you also find puzzles as well. So you have these Merlin trials that are everywhere in the game, and basically you're having to solve these little trials. Now the Merlin trials are kind of repetitive. You get at least maybe a good 6 or 8 different Merlin trials, and then after that they're all the same Merlin kind of trial. They're all in different areas, but it's the same. Like, all right, this one I have to step on the places, and I step on every stone. Or this one I have to pop everybody's break all of these boulders. You know, all of them are kind of similar-ish once you get down to the main 6 kinds of Merlin trials there are. In the castle there are these doors to solve. Now those doors were ridiculously hard for me, guys. I didn't solve them until the end of the game. I had to look up. I was like, I know I must have to go into these doors, but I don't know how to. I had found, like, while exploring the castle, I had found like this little cheat sheet, but I didn't think how to solve it with that. I couldn't figure out how to solve it with that cheat sheet, so I had to look that up, unfortunately. And if anybody knows me, I hate looking stuff up, but I had to look it up at the end because I had already beat the game. I was like, all right, I've beaten the game. I want to finish doing what there is in Hogwarts to do. So there's those door puzzles. Then there's these statues. When you're pulling out Revelio, you're like, all of these stuff are lighting up in the castle and you're following them. Even the noise, like you'll hear a ping and sometimes it's like a page that needs to be found. There's lots of stuff going on all throughout the world, and you're constantly casting Revelio to reveal, like, while you're on the broom, if you're casting Revelio, you can see where there's a puzzle that needs to be solved. You can see the Merlin trials, you can see the cave puzzles. The only thing you can't see are like these landing puzzles where you have to land on certain pillars for something to go off. Those are the only ones you can't see while casting Revelio. So a lot of the puzzles also, like I said, are like the Merlin trials are the same. The cave ones are just exploration ones. There are some ones where you have to find the ancient magic. There are so many, lots of little different puzzles outside the world, and some of them are like beast battle ones, or you have to beat up the troll in order to get the loot that he's guarding. Stuff like that are in the game. I do want to talk about a few bad things that I did experience. And now, out of my 70 hours of gameplay, I've only experienced it 3 times where I fell through the floor. So I walked into one of these caves and I fell through the floor. And then the game I had to reboot the game for me to progress. It only happened 3 times in 70 hours. So if that's a deal breaker for you, then now you know. It wasn't a deal breaker for me. I enjoyed the experience. I didn't have a hard time with the just resetting it. I know the load times were a little long, but I have experienced games like that came out on release date that were much more buggy. This one was super not buggy, and I'm pretty sure they've patched it out by now. That was my experience as of the 10th of December, when that's when I beat it. So it might have been patched out by now, because that was around the time it came out. I bought it and played it straight through until the end, when it came out. So it might have been patched out at this point. But like I said, I only experienced it 3 times. One time my Switch did overheat, but that also could be my fault because my room was pretty hot that day and I had my Switch on the whole day playing Hogwarts. So I don't know if that would have normally happened with another graphic intensive game, and I just hadn't experienced it because my room was cool. That time my room was pretty hot because it was cold outside and I wanted to heat up my room, but my Switch was heated up too much and it turned off. So those were the only problems I ever had with the falling through the floor, and the one time my Switch turned off. But the Switch one, I believe that's my fault. That's a me problem, because I think if you let any system play for more than 10 hours, and then turn on and then let it get overheated, you're gonna have that. There was no circulation of air either in my room at that point because I didn't have a fan going or anything like that. So there's also these beast battles where you can fight specialty beasts to gain them. You can also, okay, the one thing I will say that I didn't like about one of the things you can do in Hogwarts, you're supposed to be catching beasts in the how the movie did with the Fantastical Beasts and Where to Find Them. So you're supposed to be catching these beasts and taking them safely into your own room of requirements, to keep them safe. But I felt like a poacher myself, because you're trying to take them from the poachers, but I'm I feel like a poacher myself. I'm grabbing them from where they should be, bringing them into my thing, and then you can only have a certain amount in your rooms, and then they fill up, and then you can't carry anymore, so you gotta sell them. And that's the only way in this game to kind of make money, is to sell the bees to a person who will buy the bees from you. So at that point I was starting to feel like a poacher myself. I'm I don't want to be a poacher in this game. So there was that. There was one quest that takes you on, that one of the Hogwarts students takes you on, where you can learn the 3 unforgivable curses. And I was oh man, I don't know if I should. I was feeling so bad. I was do I want to learn the unforgivable curses? I know I learned 2 out of the 3. I never learned all 3 because I was all right, that last one is a little excess, and I was I do not want to learn that last curse. And I was all right, I'll stay with 2 of the 3. And so that's how I played with 2 out of the 3 unforgivable curses. And unfortunately, those are the most powerful ones in the game, obviously, because they're the unforgivable curses and you're not supposed to use them. But dang, where they come in clutch. I always had one equipped at all times because they were super useful in battle, especially amongst a big group of people. I would always have one handy. And that's the one thing I will tell you is you can get into these battles with so many wizards from here and there, attacking you here and attacking you there, and they come up behind you. Some of them can change forms, and some of them will sneak up on you behind you while you're fighting the ones in front of you, and some of them you can't block their attacks, and sometimes you can. It's so much happening in this game. There's like so much to explain. These are just what this review is, just a teaser of what Hogwarts has in for you. Now, if you are a Harry Potter fan in any way, I'm pretty sure I don't need to convince you to get this game. And I have heard somebody say, and I don't know that they played it, somebody say that you have to be a Harry Potter fan to enjoy this game. I guess if you want to get the references to some of the stuff, then yes. They do explain a lot of them, but not all of them. But if you are a Hogwarts fan, of course you're going to get them all. And so I did get a lot of them, not all of them, because even though I've read all the books and I've watched all the movies, I'm not a super fan. I enjoy it for what it was. I don't reread the books. I do rewatch the movies every year, but I don't reread the books. Make with that what you will. The last thing I want to talk about is how customizable this game is. This game has character customization in the very beginning, where you can customize your hairstyle, your look, and everything. You can pick hairstyles from lots of different hairstyles. The one flaw I would have in the character customization is some hairstyles you can't wear wearing hats, because they changed the hairstyle completely out, and I wish they would kind of let you know which ones they were, because I ended up picking one of those and I could not wear a hat for the most of my game because the hat would not look right. After I put it on, you couldn't see the hairstyle. So I wish they would let you know which hairstyles you can and cannot wear with hats, because every hat I put on, I did not have the same look. Even if it was a higher hairstyle that wouldn't have affected the little bun that I ended up picking, it did not work well. The other customization you have with your character is the clothing. So you can pick any amount of clothing, whatever option of apparel you pick up that's stronger and ideal for your character to have at that point, but you can then change the look of it, so it can still be the stronger one, but you can change the outside look of it. So you can pick from any number of things you have found on your journeys. Even after you sell them, the actual attire look will still be there, even if you can't keep the attire itself, but the look of the attire will still be there, which I really love. So you can pick from lots and lots of different wand choices, how the wand base handle looks, from how your cloak looks, how your scarves look, how even your gloves, if you want to wear them, glasses, no glasses, all of that is very customizable. You also have a room of requirements, which is very customizable too. So you can change the room of requirements to look exactly how you want it to look. The only thing I don't think you can move around is the bestiary. So it'll be where it needs to be. You can change there are 4 options of I can change it to look more cozy or more botanical. I can change the overall look, and then I can change specific looks. I can put down specific pieces of furniture that I found, and just make the room of requirements my own, basically. So I do like how customizable the room of requirements is. I didn't get into a lot of decorating. I wish I kind of did, but I do like how customizable the room of requirements is, so that you can aesthetically make it look how you want it to look. So it is now time to give this game a rating for you guys. Now, out of 5, so from 1 to 5, I usually never give a game 5 out of 5. Like I said, this game had 3 game-breaking glitches that I experienced out of 70 hours, though. That's the thing, is out of 70 hours, I only experienced 3. And usually when a game launches, they usually don't have those all patched out. So for it to only have been 3 that I experienced, I'm gonna give this game a 5 out of 5. I think this was a great game. I couldn't stop playing it. I couldn't put it down. Anytime I was supposed to record a video, I would immediately record the video, go back to playing Hogwarts, and I was like, oh dang, have time to edit the video, come back to playing Hogwarts. I couldn't put this game down. That's how come in the less than a month that it's been out, I've already beaten it, put 70 hours in. even while working and doing other things as well. So I'm gonna say this game is a great game. If you are a fan, of course you'll get it. If you're not a fan, I think it has enough. I think it has enough of a story that you don't need to be a fan. It'll have the occasional reference that you might not get, but I think this is a great game. Open world game. It is an open world, in case I didn't say that. Um, and it has so much to explore and so much to offer. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy this review. Happy gaming, guys. Bye.